Hi, everybody. I'm Paul Gerard. We're at Oral Wellness Center. I'm the director of yoga teacher training. And today we're going to talk about why should yoga teachers have a blog? I noticed that some teachers are resistant to the idea of having a blog or having a website. So we're going to cover some of the advantages and some of the reasons why maybe we all should have. So for, for starters, we have the 21st century business card. So years ago, when you ran into somebody else, maybe they were a doctor or a chiropractor, um, facility coordinator at another place where you had an opportunity to be a guest instructor or maybe a full-time instructor. In order to have information to be able to give to them, it used to be dependent solely on business cards, but now we have things like blogs and websites, which really expand on what we have. I'm not saying you should eliminate entirely your business card, but I am saying that if they want to know a lot more about you, they can easily do that through going to your blog. Why did I mention blog and more than website is because blogs are easier to operate. There's a couple of models of blogs, which we'll get into, that are just very easy to use. You can start using them from day one. Okay. Another question I get is, well, okay, I really understand about the blog, but do I have to have part of a website? Should it be part of a website? Or should I just run a blog by itself, one of those free blogs? And I think it really depends on where you are. And if you're just starting out and you're just trying to get your feet off the ground, I'm going to say the free blog is probably for you. If you've been in business for a while, you really should have already had some kind of a website going. So a website um, blog combination for an established business, that's one thing. If you're going to be a teacher and you have no intention of ever having a studio, um, a general contractor, so to speak, or independent contractors, as some people also say, I'm going to say that you really probably don't need much more than a blog to get going, but you do need one to kind of have a presence in your area. So the idea of the free blog, okay, there's two of them. There's more, obviously, but there's two of them that come to mind right away. They're both free, and you could start putting one together and have it up and running later on today. And one of them is Blogger, and that's owned by Google for now. Well, I don't know how things will go on the internet in another month. So you never know, I mean, or another year. So you never know who's going to own what. Um, but I'm going to say that for now, that has been a free model, and it's been a free model for quite a while. The first blog we ever got where we launched any articles at all was in 2005, and it was a Blogger blog. So then there are the WordPress blogs, and those are good as well, and those are also free. Now, with all of these, you can start to, expand on them and then eventually pay for them if you like. But to start with, you can get these models for free. And it enables you to get going, and then you have to say to yourself, well, what do I put up on these blogs? One of them is the papers that you have. So any research papers that you've done, any essays that you've done, any kind of information that you have, you don't even have to use the whole essay or the whole article or whatever papers you have that are yours. You can use those, and you could even split them apart. Like, for example, if I have a 5-page article, I can easily turn that into something like a 3-part series. And I don't have to do part 1, part 2, part 3. All I have to do is how they're related to each other with slightly different subjects that kind of meld into each other and link them back and forth. So that's an idea. There are a lot of common questions that we get from our students, and those are things, subjects that we can put down. I mean, I get them, you get them, and it's, and you can get ideas from going around on social media and seeing what people are talking about. What are people asking about? Um, about creating new papers. I think it's a great idea. Years ago, when we first started posting papers up, so it was articles that I wrote or articles that our team wrote, what happened was you could expand, you could go as far as you wanted. Now the problem is with Google the way they are, wanting all of the old work being brushed up, and that goes back to if you wrote stuff back in 2005, they kind of want it cleaned up now and up to today's standards. So if you're going to start to create for 17 years or something like that, so 17 years down the road, you're going to have to maintain all of that property, virtual property as it would be. So my suggestion, once a week max, and then after that, after about 2 years, I would go back and start fixing and maintaining or adding on to articles. So that's some, especially if you run into related questions, you can look down and see questions that people had and see if you can expand on that. So that's another way of keeping the blog alive. I think you're better off now, the way things are on the internet, to have a blog with 200 posts as compared to a blog with thousands of posts. I can say that from experience because we have 2 major blogs, and both of those blogs take quite a bit to maintain. So it's one of those things where I would say you want to do as much as you can to make sure, if you're comparing it to maintaining your front yard, there's only so much front yard you want to get. And then as far as other reasons for having a blog in the first place, one of them is to promote events and classes. So you might promote an event, but then later on, what you want to do is probably end up replacing that promotion in that spot that's already been created with a related article. So that's an idea. And finally, one of the biggest reasons for you to have a blog or a website or both is so that you expand your reach. So say, for example, I'm located in Massachusetts and I want to reach out further around New England or maybe across the United States or maybe worldwide. What I want to do is have something like a blog and then reach out further. If you wanted to reach out really on a massive scale, then I would say you would want to write very large posts, and I'm talking thousands of words. So the way it's worked years ago was you could put up a 300-word article and that would actually start to have some traction. Now, 3,000 gets you in the game. So it's one of those things where I would say, if you're looking to expand your reach, it will work, but bear in mind that if you're really looking to expand your reach and you have that's your passion, then what you want to do is write posts that go deep. With that in mind, I wish you farewell. Namaste.